¿Qué pasa YouTube? Okay, what's up YouTube? Welcome to round 1 of VDL Season 8 playoffs. Your Carolina Hackers are here to defend their Season 7 championship, and we are facing off against Vortex, the commissioner of the VDL. His channel link will be down below, so definitely go ahead and check out his side of our battle. If you guys are excited for this, make sure to like, leave a comment, and if you want to skip to the battle instead of hearing me ramble on about what we brought, then you can go ahead and do so. There should be a timestamp somewhere for you guys to go ahead and do that. So with that being said, let's take a look here at our round 1 playoff matchup. So we did end up finishing the season first overall, so we got our first pick of playoff opponents, and we did choose Vortex. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is indeed a round 1 lantern. However, though, Vortex's squad is very scary. Terra Comfy has been an absolute nightmare and terror in mocks, so I need to be very careful with that. Shout out to the front office homies and the mock homies for helping me with this matchup here. Amoongus is very scary because it could just come to spore something, so that's super annoying. Manchow offensively has been an absolute nightmare to deal with, so I need to be careful with that. Speaking of offensive nightmares, Iron Bundle and Latios are both also very scary on the specially offensive side, so I need to watch out for those. Heatran and Mandibuzz both have amazing matchups in this game, so I fully expect them to 100% come. The Cloth and the Domfan plus the Lantern, those three I really don't think are going to be coming to this game whatsoever. So let's see what we are bringing to deal with this bit of an odd matchup. Odd in the sense that he has very scary threats into us, and also he drafted round 1 Lantern. So our first mon is going to be, of course, our team captain in Meowscarada, rocking a very offensive spread here with the muscle band, giving us that little bit of boost for our stab first offensive moves. All 4 of these hit the entirety of Vortex's squad for a whole lot of damage, which is really great, and we are rocking enough speed to outspeed everything that is not the Iron Bundle. Our next mon is going to be our AV captain, Terra Captain in Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is really difficult for Vortex to try and take down. Now initially I was a very speedy Conkeldurr, but the bulk and mocks ended up being more crucial and beneficial to Conkeldurr in this matchup. It's very hard for him to take down Conkeldurr in this game, especially if we are able to get the Terra Fairy off, which is going to come in very handy. Now obviously we do need to get rid of or weaken the Amoongus and the Heatran, which both have a good chance to come to this matchup. So besides that, these 4 moves in the AV allow us to deal damage and take hits. Next off, we have Torta the Clefable. Oh, hold on. We have Torta the Clefable coming to this matchup, rocking a very interesting set. We are super fast Clefable here. We are running enough speed to outspeed the Mandibuzz if it's running a little bit of speed creep, which in turn outspeeds everything that is slower than it. Now Comfy, I don't expect to be running a lot of speed, and we don't outspeed that anyways, and then everything else outspeeds us naturally, or should be running speed to outspeed us regardless of our speed investment. But Thunderwave and Knockoff are 2 really great supportive moves here. Moonblast is great stab, Moonlight for recovery, and the Kabia Berry is because Life Orb Manchow is actually a huge nightmare to deal with. Our next team member is going to be Ting-Lu, here rocking Stealth Rocks, Taunt, Ruination, and Earthquake. Now the very cool thing about this set though is that it's running the same speed as Clefable. We are running enough speed to outspeed Mandibuzz and everything below it, and then everything above it should outspeed us anyways. Now the nice thing about Ting-Lu though is that he should not expect us to be running such a fast Ting-Lu, and that's kind of what I'm banking on. So we could catch him off guard. In mocks, we were able to taunt the Mandibuzz because there's no real reason for Mandibuzz to run a lot of speed here. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to deal with that with this accordingly. So our next mon is going to be one of our major pivots here into his scary special offensive mons in Alomomola. Now if he brings Specs Bundle, that is very scary. We do live at least 1 hit. Depending on rolls, we could live 2. and then that's if he gets up rocks or not. Regardless though, AV Alamomola is very crucial here in this matchup. All 4 moves come in very handy to deal with his offensive threats. And then our final team member is going to be what most likely will be our lead, and that is going to be Zoom Lens Hypnosis Bronzong. So after missing Hypnosis with Wide Lens on Darkrai, hopefully we do hit Hypnosis with Zoom Lens Bronzong. I believe that boosts the accuracy of Hypnosis is 60 to 72, if I did the math correctly, or around the 70 point area, which is really nice because we can lead with this, put something to sleep, and then from there start going for iron defenses, and between body press and gyro ball we should be able to apply some good pressure to his team very early on in the matchup here. So with that being said, let's jump into round 1 of the season 8 playoffs. Okay, pause YouTube. Okay, what's up YouTube? Welcome to round 1 of VDL season 8 playoffs. We are taking on the commissioner of Vortex. Now if you guys did miss our week 8 game, which I know might be up a little bit late by the time I'm doing this game, but we did finish the season first overall, and we're able to pick our playoff opponent, and we chose Vortex. So hopefully we can get a dub here and not get round 1. His team is very interesting, so I'm a little bit worried about this matchup. So he brought almost everything. I did not expect Donphan. Okay, why does he have a Donphan? I don't know. I did not see a single Donphan in my mocks, but I don't think it should be the worst thing ever. Hopefully the mic is working fine here. So I think the game plan is still just to lead Bronzong. If you guys might have skipped the builder, we are running Hypnosis, so we can just try and get off something crippled early on with the Hypnosis. So if you guys are excited for this, make sure to the like and answer the question of the day, which should be on the screen somewhere for you guys to answer. So I'm a little nervous, man. It always sucks to lose round 1. Hopefully we don't lose round 1. We can make it to semifinals, then to finals, and defend our season 7 championship. So let's see how this goes. He is Terra Fairy on the Comfey, so that is not the worst thing ever. I was actually worried about poison. I was very worried about poison, actually. Luckily he's not poison, so it just depends what kind of Comfey set he's going to be rocking with. So let's see, does he lead the Donphan? No, he leads Latios. Okay, actually I don't mind this. I would take this. I'm going to go straight for Hypnosis. I don't think he would be sub if he led with the Latios, so I'm not worried about sub. He's going to go for Shadow Ball. We should tank this pretty easily. We are very spadef. Unless he gets a turn 1 crit. And we miss. Okay. Well, that sucks. That's literally worst case scenario for us turn 1. Ah, man. Huh. I don't really know what to do here. We're gonna lose our lead immediately, which sucks because I don't think he's running a lot of special attack on this either. I could save this. I could go straight into Ting Lu. Dude, that's literally worst turn. That's the worst way we could have started this game. We have the zoom lens too. With the zoom lens, it's 72% accurate. So we missed the Hypnosis, which sucks. So he's going to Shadow Ball into Ting Lu. How much does he do? That did nothing. That did what, 31? Yeah, I don't think he's running a lot of special attack on this. Okay, either way, I think I just rocks. I'm not really concerned about what this wants to do to me. He's gonna Aura Sphere. Oh, okay. That does 0 though. That's good. What is this? Maybe he's just a bulky pivot. I don't know. I'm not sure what he is, but I'm gonna go for the Ruination here. As he just keeps spamming the Aura Sphere. Okay. Well, we can get the Ruination off here and go from there. So luckily we don't miss that. That's great. We did good damage. I think this is in range of Meowscarada now though, so I could sack off Bronzong, bring in Meow, and just U-turn. Clefable might actually not be bad here either. He doesn't have Mienshao. I'm really surprised he doesn't have Mienshao. I think I'm okay going into Clefable here. Yeah, because the main reason I needed Clefable was for Mienshao in this Latios, but he doesn't have the Mienshao. And again, I don't think he's running a lot of special attack on this. He could reveal Recover here maybe? No, he just goes for the Aura Sphere again. It's not the worst thing ever. I kind of want a Thunder Wave here, actually. I'm going to T-Wave in case he brings in Heatran. Paralyzing that is going to be really handy. Or if he stays in with this, then we can paralyze this, and then from there go for the Moonlight. But he's going to switch out. Okay, he does bring in the Heatran. Paralyzing this is going to be handy. And then we can go from there. As we don't miss Izzy Lumberry. He's not Boots, though, so that's good to know. Lumberry? I mean, Lumberry would be really random, honestly, so I don't think he'd be Lumberry. Okay, so he definitely might just go for a Flash Cannon. What I could do is bring in my Tinglu here. We outspeed him, then I can Earthquake. That's not too bad. Alamomola now outspeeds this, I think. Because it's paralyzed. But, I mean, Alo's a pretty safe switch into this. You can see what he wants to go for. Maybe he just goes for Rocks. I assume he just goes for Rocks. So he's not Boots. He's not Leftovers. He could be Choiced. I don't think it would be like Choice Specs, though. Scarf, maybe. He gets paralyzed, so we don't know what he wanted to go for there. I could have Flip Turn. Scald is not too bad either. I think Flip Turn is fine here. If he stays in, is that the worst thing ever? He could just go for Rocks. I Flip Turn into Tinglu, I guess, right? If he stays in. He does stay in, okay. That did a good chunk of damage. As we get a crit. Unfortunately, he's Flame Body. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's actually not the worst thing ever that we got burned on Aloe, because, I mean, Flip Turn was really just here for momentum. So if he's going to Fire move here, I can't let Conk and Tinglu both get weakened. I could sack Bronzong, I guess. Yeah, Bronzong's not doing much right now. And keeping Tinglu healthy still helps for that Latios. Yeah, if I have Conk for Comfy, that should be fine. We have Poison Jab. I don't really need Bronzong. Unfortunately, Bronzong literally did nothing. So we're just going to sack it off here. That sucks. That really sucks. We got off to just a really bad start here. As he turns out to have Taunt. Okay. Hey, so as you guys may have heard, unfortunately my audio completely just messes up for the remainder of this live recording. Luckily though, I've figured out the audio issues that I was having for like 2 weeks, and everything should be fine, hopefully heading into future games after this does go up. So I'm just going to go ahead and just post-commentate from this point onwards. So he ends up taunting with the Heatran, which I wasn't expecting. I was just going to sack off Bronzong. As I body press the incoming Mandibuzz, I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball just because I want to try and get off some type of damage on this Mandibuzz before he knocks me out, as he does end up finishing us off. As he ends up knocking off our Zoom Lens, even though we missed it, which really sucks. Bronzong did literally nothing here, so that is a little bit unfortunate. We're still kind of on the back foot, but it's not the worst thing ever, so I'm going to try and bring in my Tinglu here and get up my hazards, as we are indeed faster than him. So he's either running very little to no speed or no speed whatsoever, as he misses Toxic, and that was very big justice, I think, for us. That was really handy for us since we did miss Toxic since we did miss Hypnosis turn 1. So this means that Tinglu will be around a little bit longer than it should actually be. So we are going to be able to go for the taunt here, stop the Mandibuzz from trying to Toxic us once again. And this is amazing because we have rocks up. He can't Toxic us, he can't defog, and he can't recover. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Ruination here just to further weaken this Mandibuzz if he really wants to stay in. Worst case scenario, I just get him severely low and I bring something else in after I taunt him to knock him out. But he decides to go ahead and sack off the Heatran. Honestly, I didn't think Heatran was going to be as useless as it was here. I thought Heatran was going to be a little bit more scary than it ended up being, but paralyzing it was very good for us, so that's great. Now that the Heatran is gone, Clefable's Moonblast is 110% absolutely free in this game. So that means anytime that Clefable comes in, I'll be able to just go ahead, Moonblast, and something is getting punished. So in comes the Iron Bundle. He takes Stealth Rock's damage, which is really good information because now I know he's not Boots. He's got to be choiced in some type of way. Leftovers didn't make any type of sense, or a weakening berry or a stat boosting berry, pinch berry, did not make any sense in my opinion. So I bring in my Alomola, hoping and praying he is not Specs, and of course he is Choice Specs Iron Bundle. That thing is a nightmare. So here I'm debating, do I want to go ahead and sack off Alomola, or after checking the calcs I can bring in Conkeldurr. He only does about 30%, and then from there I threaten him with a Mach Punch, or threaten him by living another Freeze Dry and just clean knocking him out with the Drain Punch. So he does go for the Freeze Dry on my Conkeldurr switch, and this is good because now I at least still have Alomola in the back to sack off to this Iron Bundle later after it's taken another turn of Stealth Rocks, which is also really huge in putting it in range of where I can knock it out with something else. So I go ahead and go for my Terra here because I really don't need to be a fighting type in this matchup whatsoever. Being Terra Fairy, or being a fairy type in general, is a lot more beneficial to us in this game, especially now that the Heatran is gone. So I do end up going for the safe Drain Punch as I catch the incoming Latios. This kind of sucks because now he's going to be able to do a little bit more damage to us just because my Mach Punch won't knock him out, but from the damage that the first Drain Punch did, a second one will be able to knock him out. And it turns out that he was actually a weakness policy Latios, which is why he never went for something like Psychic or Larsa Purge, because he actually had stored power, which would also explain why he went for the Shadow Ball that turn. So he did get the Spadef drop, but he ends up bringing in Donphan, which is a little bit odd. Now I do need to keep Conkeldurr still healthy because he does have the Iron Bundle regardless. Even if I do have my Alomola as a sack, it's still a giant issue to try and deal with, not to mention that he still has the Terra Fairy Comfy in the back, which if it's Calm Mind could be an absolute nightmare to deal with, and Conkeldurr is my main way of dealing with the Comfy. So I decided just to bring in my Alomola as he actually ends up going for the Rapid Spin. I think depending on his investment, I might have been able to take 2 Earthquakes. Either way though, with him going for Rapid Spin, this now means I can live another hit and I can go ahead and go for a very slow flip turn, but he actually ends up switching out into the bundle, and this is amazing because I can go ahead and bring in one of my other threats here in the form of Conkeldurr. It does kind of suck that he got rid of our rocks, but anytime that Conkeldurr is in on Iron Bundle, as long as I'm above about 70% HP, even though he is Specs, he should not be able to knock us out unless he gets a crit. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but he decides to bring in the Mandibuzz. Now initially I was a very fast Conkeldurr, but I am not going to be able to outspeed the Mandibuzz here, so I'm thinking that he more than likely is going to go for the Roost or try to go for the knockoff to get rid of my Assault Vest. So either way, I don't want this Mandibuzz to do entirely too much to us, as Clefable is a pretty safe switch into this as he does go for the knockoff, getting rid of our useless Kabia Berry, the Poison Weakening Berry, for the Manchow. I was really surprised he didn't bring Manchow. I really thought he was going to bring Manchow, but it is what it is. As in comes the Donphan, we do some pretty good damage. Judging from that, I don't think he's running a lot of Spadef investment, so I can just stay in here and go for another Moonblast, and there is a good shot that we will be able to outspeed him because we are running enough speed to outspeed a very minimal speed indeed Mandibuzz, as we are faster than him. That's really great. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Moonlight here, thinking that he's just gonna go for Earthquake again. I want to try and get up to enough HP to where the bundle cannot knock us out with a Choice Specs Ice Beam, if I'm not mistaken. So I do go for the Moonlight there, and here I was really close to going for the Moonlight again, and I really wish I had done that because, as you're gonna see, he goes for the Ice Shard. I could have got away with being at like 85-90% HP, but it's fine. It's not the worst thing ever, as we do get rid of the Donphan. In comes the Comfey, and this thing is an absolute nightmare. I don't know what it's running. I don't know what it wants to do. Regardless, though, I need to get some type of damage off on it. Even if it goes for a Calm Mind here, maybe we get a special attack drop, or I can gain some information on whether it is running a lot of bulk or little to no bulk whatsoever. So he turns out to be Taunt, which means he's either Taunt 3 attacks or Taunt Recover, Taunt Calm Mind. I'm hoping he's not running Calm Mind along Taunt. So after the Moonblast damage, I'm gonna go ahead and switch right into my Conkeldurr to eat the Draining Kiss, even though he ends up going for the Calm Mind. This is not entirely too bad because we are Assault Vested and we do have the Poison Jab. Terra Fairy Comfey is an absolute nightmare. This specific set right here, as you're gonna see, did end up being very terrifying, especially in mocks. Taunt Calm Mind was something that I was really scared of. Unfortunately, he brought it here, so he ends up doing a ridiculous amount of damage to my Conkeldurr. I was really surprised about how much that did. And the thing about this is that if he's modest, I was checking calcs here, so if he's a modest max special attack with the Life Orb, he does have a small chance to knock us out with the Draining Kiss. Thankfully though, Conkeldurr is super thick, and we live the hit, and down goes the Comfey, and oh my lord, I really thought Comfey had it won there for him. I think he did end up being max special attack, and we lived on the roll, and that's really good for us because otherwise, at that point, it was probably a good game. Max special attack, Life Orb, Terra Fairy Comfey was like worst case scenario going into this game. I really thought he was going to be like Terra Steel or Terra Poison. But no, he chose just straight aggression with Terra Fairy, Life Orb, Modest Comfey. So down goes the Comfey. I get off a good amount of damage on the bundle with the Mach Punch. And here I was checking the calcs again to make sure I lived a Freeze Dry. And as long as he does not crit us or freeze us, we should be able to knock him out with the Moonblast here. As he goes for the Freeze Dry, doesn't freeze us, and down goes the bundle. His last mon is the Mandibuzz, which we are indeed faster than, and we're going to be able to go ahead and knock it out here with the Moonblast for us to go on to round 2, aka the semifinals of VDL Season 8. So we are 2 wins away from defending our VDL Championship. So if you guys are excited for this, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, answer the question of the day. And with that being said, I will see you in our semifinals match. So thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.